Okay, phase one, crack the perception. Next deep dive, rock bottom. Everybody knows rock bottom because it's either change or suicide. There's no other options. Okay, my rock bottom moment is a culmination of events that led to a breaking point, which is what a rock bottom moment is. And this is my suicide story. My background is childhood sexual abuse, which led to Hall of Fame teenage alcoholism, which led to my suicide moment. The key for my story is that I didn't know about my childhood until I was 20 years old. It was repressed my entire life. I never knew the why to the reasons why I did and acted certain ways until I spent quite a long time with a lot of the methods that I'll go over and all the deep dives for the first phase, through introspection, through psychedelics, through honesty, through all these things. I eventually cracked my walls and I sat down on the couch one day and there was nothing planned. I just had a couple hours to kill. I was sophomore in college. Sat down, I rolled a joint, lit it, took a couple rips, sat back, and I'm just about thinking what I wanted to throw on the TV. Then all of a sudden, like a fucking lightning bolt, everything came back to me in a split second. Every memory, maybe not clear, but the feelings of every memory, the understanding, the links from the source to every behavior and every feeling and everything. I understood it all. It all came back to me in a split second. And I just got jolted. And I felt it and I understood it and I could just, everything made sense. And it all came back to me. And it was too much. It was way too much. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to hold this just by myself. And then I would have to get help. But I couldn't get help. It was too scary. It wasn't something I was capable of doing. And so I rationalized that if I wasn't going to be able to live with this understanding by myself and I couldn't get help from anybody, I had no choice. There was no way. And so the only real direction was I'd have to kill myself. Like that, I couldn't think of any other way I could survive with this inside of me, kept to myself. I couldn't do it. And so I said, that's it. I just, in that moment, I gave up. And I said, I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I planned for later that week was going to be, I was in Salt Lake City, so there's Mount Olympus there, and my loose plan was if nothing changes for the next couple days on fucking Friday or Thursday, whatever it was, I'm just going to hike up to Mount Olympus, find a good cliff, and I'm going to fucking chuck a gainer off of it. I'm just going to jump. And like, some people talk about suicide, and they talk about suicide, like thinking about thoughts of suicide. But some people talk about suicide and they say, I was committed to the act. It just either never got there or whatever. That was me. I was 100% embraced death, gave up on life, said I'm done, and meant it, really meant it. I'm done. I can't do it. And that was my rock bottom moment. It wasn't the alcohol. It wasn't the depression. It wasn't even the understanding of the childhood sexual abuse. It was the knowing that I couldn't hold it all by myself without help, and the inability to ask for help. Those two things led to the realization that there was no way I could go up. This was the rock bottom. The only thing left to do is to remove myself from life. So back to the concept, rock bottom. What is the rock bottom? Rock bottom is, it's like the spiritual equivalent of tectonic shift. It's like everything shifts at one and it can never go back. And it's just like this finality, this final moment where you have a choice. It's full identity death. Everything that you thought you have been up until this point, again, it's the pressure point. It's the point of choice. Everything dies. And you're left with the rawest version of you. It's just raw. All your coping tools fail at the same time. Like, it's like all at once. And everything fails. all your defenses fail, all your justifications fail, all your stories fail, all your hopes, all your dreams. Everything falls and fails at one time like that. And you don't know what to do. You're forced to feel everything that all your distractions have broken. It's not only that all your coping mechanisms fail, all your distraction mechanisms fail. It's not only that your identity dies. It's not only that your spirit breaks, but your body takes that toll too, because it feels that emotional charge of everything. And your body, your mind, and your spirit all pay the same price and equal potency. And your body just gets fucking, it just breaks. Like, you can't hold on to that. Like I said, you can't hold on to that feeling. It's too much. You can't hold on to it. And so you can't even see how you can make it another 2 weeks. Hold on. It's too much. You can't do it. So that's the overview. That's what a rock bottom is. It's like this final pressure point moment where everything fucking fails. And so the symptoms of that are like this weird paradox of extreme numbness but extreme agony at the same time. Like, it's such a shock to the system when you hit that rock bottom that it's almost like you can't feel anything. You're just totally numb, but at the same time, you couldn't be in more pain. Like, you can't feel anything, but at the same time, you couldn't feel any worse. Couldn't feel any more. There's not a emotional charge on earth that could equal what you feel right now, yet you also can't feel anything. It's chronic. This is what it's where chronic sympathetic overdrive hits burnout. Your trauma response is in the body. It's a nervous system response. It's a nervous system freeze. It's a nervous system overload that puts you in survival mode permanently. And it can only do that for so long. It takes so much energy. It takes so much energy for that to maintain itself. And so you spend all this energy protecting yourself, what you think you are, and then a rock bottom hits and the whole system that kept you in survival mode burns. It just burns out. That's the end. And because it's protecting you, now there's nothing. And so, like, there's nothing. So dissociation just deepens. Like, now you don't even know what's real. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you don't know anything. Like, nothing makes sense. And because this is like the rock bottom, this final moment where fucking everything fails, your body sends one last attempt, one last go at this, and that manifests as panic, shutdown, relapse, or suicide. It's like your survival trauma response is like this last ditch effort to maintain sanity or maintain life. And then when that fails, there's like one last ditch fucking Hail Mary effort. It doesn't always mean for good. Like, it can be relapse, like intense relapse. It can be suicide. It can just be fucking it's like the agony and the numbness, and now you're panicking because now you have no idea of you have no grounded nature. It's just extreme panic, and just everything breaks. Just everything breaks. Everything breaks, and then time slows down. So there's like the breaking moment, the rock bottom moment, where everything falls. But then right after that, it's like now you're in this dissociative, agonist, numb, confused, derealized state. And because you're so removed from what's real, it's like time doesn't even make sense anymore. You like float through the days like you're in this daze. And like all of a sudden it's nighttime, and then it's the morning, and you're supposed to eat, and now it's time to go to work. And like, I just remember, I'll never forget what this was like. I remember after I hit rock bottom, like, I still had to I still had to wake up, I still had to eat, even though I didn't. I had to go to work. I worked at this restaurant downtown Salt Lake, and I would go to work, and I would serve these people, and I would just be so out of it in my mind, but I would be put together like barely, I don't even know how, for the people I was serving. And at the same time, I'm like, all these people are just like going through life, and nobody knows what just happened to me. People, like, you're just going to get in your car and go back to your house, and say hi to your kids, or you're going to go to the gym, or you're going to go hike them out, or you're going to go eat food. And it's like you just are just, the normal world just leaves you behind. You're just so far, like you're just so excluded from the normal world, and it just doesn't make sense at all. And so it's addiction spiral. It's like if you can't cope with that, fucking you just go as hard as humanly possible into the deepest substances that you can find. Anything to give you some sense of sensation that makes you real in life, because you feel nothing, and so you need to go deep in the substances to make you feel anything, even if it's just a touch. It's abandonment rupture. It's like now, like the world has left you behind. Now you're abandoned. You're alone. There's no help. And that just cuts you to the core. Like I said, your system collapses, and you have this existential scream. And that's the thing that leads to suicide, is like now you can't whisper. You can't ask questions to the skies anymore. You scream with the full weight of the deepest and fullest rage that you have. And you just fucking yell it to the sky because you need something and there's nothing. And it just, you just don't know. You just don't know. And so the dangers of a rock bottom moment are fucking obvious. It's like suicide is namely. And that's why people commit suicides, because they hit rock bottom and they can't recover. They can't. It's not that you're supposed to or that they're weak. It's just that it's too hard. And people just don't make it. And so they kill themselves. Less than that. It's full relapse, like I just said. It's just, maybe you can't get yourself to kill yourself, but you're going to get as close as you can, because you're just going to fucking take your addiction to the extreme. Isolation, extreme isolation. Like, if you can't even feel yourself and the world has left you behind and you can't hold on to this emotional charge, you can't be around anybody. Like, you don't even know what that means. Like, it's so distorted that you just can't, family, friends, you can't be around anybody. You can't even think about interaction at all. And like I said, this existential scream and rage, and this is dangerous because this is where people go off the rails. They hate life. They hate God. They hate everything because it hurt them so deeply. This rock bottom hurt them so much that they can't think of anything other than whoever or whatever did this to me is the most evil thing that you could possibly imagine. And because that must exist for me to feel like this, the only way to match evil is to send hate and the most powerful negative energy I can into the world to try to combat that sort of evil. And that can fuck people up forever. So that was a bit deep, but we're going to go back. This is my favorite part of this stuff, is the tools, the practices. Everybody tells you what things are. Nobody ever tells you what to do. I'll fucking tell you what to do. Rule number 1, when you hit rock bottom, the only thing you need to know is just don't give up. And it wouldn't have worked for me, so I get that doesn't work. But if you can somehow get that in your mind to just not give up, not because it's worth not giving up just the sentence, don't give up. Just know that. Second tool, again, I don't know why this isn't a thing in our world now. You can go to the gym. When I hit rock bottom, and I had my suicide attempt that ended up fizzling, the first thing that I did, before I had any idea of anything, I don't know why I did this. I mean, I do, but I signed up for a gym. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I can't control my mind. It's too confusing. I don't know what my spirit is because clearly life hates me. The only thing I have a slight control over is my body. So maybe I didn't commit suicide yesterday and I might in a month, but I'm going to be a fucking month's better shape by the time I kill myself in a month. And And I don't know why, but fucking I need to get in shape. I have to. And that worked for me like nothing has ever worked before. Don't give up and go to the gym. Doesn't matter how you start. I don't even care if like go to the gym just means as a symbol, do something physical. Go take a fucking walk. And I did this the week. Actually, I did do this. I hit rock bottom and I was going to kill myself like a week later. Inside of that week, while I was waiting for anything to happen, every day I walked to the end of the street and back. I didn't even have a reason. I just walked. And I walked as far as I wanted or as short as I wanted, but I fucking walked. I did something physical. And that's what you need to do. Another tool, speak the truth and get help. Because it's not enough just to talk about what a rock bottom moment is and that some people don't make it. I fucking made it. And this is how I made it. Like I said earlier, I wasn't able to hold on to the emotional charge of everything that I understood about what happened to me and who I was by myself. But I also couldn't get help. And so what I did is I realized that I made this weird justification for myself. I said, I'm going to kill myself in a week. So if I'm going to be dead, what does it matter if I ask for help right before? And that's what I did. I sat down and in one sitting without break, I wrote an email in my notes section of my computer that I was going to send to my parents that started at 0 and went through the whole story, left nothing out. Everything I poured into this note. And when I was done, it was like 5,000 words, and I still have it. And I just sat and I'm like, okay, I have this, and I'm going to copy and paste this into an email. I'm going to send it to both my parents, and I'm going to write, like, if I'm going to kill myself in an hour, I'm just going to send it and then walk out the door, hike the cliff, jump off the cliff. That was my plan. And what happened was, for a different story, for a different time, my suicide attempt fizzled. And I sent the email because I was dead. In my head, I was dead. I was already dead. So I sent the email, and then I went off on this adventure. That's another story that is the reason why I didn't end up committing suicide. And when I came back from that adventure, what I was left with was my parents' response to the email. And the biggest thing that I remember about that is that my biggest fear, and the reason why I thought I couldn't tell anybody or get help, was because I thought nobody would believe me. And that's very common. You hear that a lot, is that people are like, nobody's going to believe this. Nobody's going to believe this. Well, my parents didn't understand it, but they believed it. And that was enough. And already my adventure that fizzled my attempt was enough. But on top of that, the thing that I was most afraid of outside of facing myself was asking for help. And by asking for help, the thing I was afraid of within asking for help didn't happen. They believed me, like good parents do. Like good people do. They believed me. And they didn't understand at all. And they wanted to help, as good parents do. And they didn't know, and I didn't know, but they believed. They just took my word and they listened to it. And they called me, and then things went on from there. But that's a tool, is to get help. And it's not, it might be like a suicide hotline or in person, but like real help. Somebody to believe you. Not somebody to understand or to teach you. Somebody just to believe you. Just so that you're not the only one carrying that. And last tool is pick one thing. For me, it was the walk. But until things dissolve a little, pick one thing in a day that you're going to do every day. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if it's fucking put your clothes in the dirty laundry basket, which was the thing that was my only thing for a while. Or if it's that you're just going to get out of bed, stand up for a second, and then let yourself go back in bed and stay there the rest of the day. Again, something I also did. Walk down the street once a day to the end of the street and back. Something I did once a day. Pick something, one thing. And it can be more than one thing if you want, but pick something that you just do every day. One final anchor to life. One last bit of structure. And if you make it through the suicide part, just that one bit of structure is enough to keep you moving in the right direction. So what's the gift of a rock bottom moment? How do you take something as emotionally charged and as destructive as a rock bottom moment? Where's the gift in that? Well, you meet what's left. Everything fails. The whole system breaks. Everything breaks. You come crashing down into this final pressure point moment, and you're left with a choice. And the interesting part about that is that you have to make that choice from the rawest part of you. You don't make it from the you that all the systems held up, because those systems have collapsed completely. So the only thing left is you, wherever you are, whatever you are. And you have to make a choice. Kill yourself or keep moving. Well, either of those choices you pick, you're operating from you. And if you realize that there's a you that even exists, because you've numbed, dissociated, everything makes no sense, time slows down, you feel left out, you hate the world, but all of a sudden there's this you that's left, and you're like, well, everything broke, nothing makes sense, but there's still this thing that I am. What is that? What's left is your soul, and it speaks, and it makes a choice. Some people don't make it. Some people do, like me. Because the thing that made the choice to keep moving was my soul. And that's powerful, if you understand what that means. The other gift is that you realize that life is a gift, and life is beautiful. And this is going to get a little sappy, but I love this story. I'll tell this story until I die. In one of my walks, in the space between rock bottom and my suicide plan, in those days between, one day, took a cup of, actually, was this cup, that's funny, was this cup of coffee, I didn't plan this, it was this cup of coffee that I took. I made coffee in the morning, I took this cup, and I went and walked down the street, and as I was coming back, I lived in a house with 3 other guys in Salt Lake City, and there was this big ass fucking tree right outside our house. And I came back, and I remember knowing that I had fully accepted death, like I was dead in my mind. It just hadn't happened yet. Like I was gone. I gave up. I was done. And because I was done, there was no more of my life to experience. It was done. So the only thing left to experience was just life in general, as a whole. And so I walked back with this cup of coffee, and I remember looking at this tree in front of my house. And birds were chirping, the sun was out, light breeze, big tree. And I had this thought, and I sat there, I looked at this tree, and I just thought, I'm going to miss this. Like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like, what? I'll tell that story forever, because that meant that at that moment, I had given up, but at the same time, recognized the beauty of life, the beauty of nature. And those things coexisted. And that proves that you can be at your lowest and still see the highest. That the highest can exist when you're at your lowest. You can hate the world, you can hate God, you can hate life, but if you really look, everything's right there for you. It's right in front of your face. You just have to notice it. And that's funny, that's weird. I mean, it's not weird, but that's what you realize. When you give up your life, you realize what you're giving up. So in closing, what you need to know about rock bottom is that it doesn't make you strong to avoid your vulnerabilities and offer a perfect offering to the world. It makes you strong when you can accept your vulnerabilities, display them for others to see, and walk through a path of becoming and transforming in front of people's eyes, failing, falling, slipping, succeeding along the way. That's strength, is when you let people see you, not a thing that you offer them. See you. When people see you and you are you, that's real strength. So that wraps up Rock Bottom Moment. The next video in the deep dive of all the Phase 1 Crack the Perception methods is going to be trauma education, the knowledge of trauma and addiction and how that can help. In the comments, if you're comfortable, Put your rock bottom moment. I mean, it's good. People need to know that they're not alone, that their rock bottom moment isn't just an experience unique to them. The more rock bottom moments you read, trust me, I went through all the Reddit forums, the more you realize that we have a shared experience. And because we have a shared experience, that proves there's more than just you to experience. There's something collective. That's powerful. You can find me on Instagram, Uncle Sam _fit, FIT. Reach out. Ask me questions. Fucking follow along the whole YouTube series, everything. I'm just fucking trying to dump everything I know into somewhat of a digestible form online, because this, like my own understanding of rock bottom, my understanding of life now on the other side of healing, I can't keep this inside of me. I can't do it. I can't walk around knowing what I know and not try to help other people with what I know. So that's why I coach. I got coaching programs. Anywhere you are, from the very beginning to all the way at the end, I can take you at any point in the healing process and show you the tools, the methods, the practices, the knowledge, give you the personal experience, the personal guidance. I've got the structure fucking dialed. I understand it. I can take you where you need to go. Reach out. That's rock bottom. Next one, trauma education. Phase 1, crack the perception.